Hi and welcome to the Martin Bell Show. Hopefully you've been keeping well, and in today's video we're going to have a news article of me reading through a news article from the Daily Mail where the computer programmer has just 2 guesses left for his password to access $220 million in Bitcoin before the digital wallet locks forever and never able to get it back ever again. So this is another reason why I'm not a fan of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, because if you lose your wallet or you lose your key, it's gone forever. At least with a centralized currency you may have insurance or other assets. So if you go into metals, the only other risk is theft or natural disasters. But with crypto, it's likely or something happens to your hard drive, it corrupts. You can lose your wallet and you could potentially lose a lot of money, as this person has, because I think he was gifted them in 2011, 7,200. So let's have a look at Bitcoin's price. Bitcoin's price in 2011. To $2 in 2011. In the fall of 2011, $2. So it's about $14,000 was put into that. So now he's lost a lot of money, and that's gonna be messed with him. Or it may not. Hopefully, it should not be. Hopefully, he'll be able to get over it and move past it and still enjoy his life. So this is another reason why I'm not a fan of the Bitcoin system. It's a good idea, but it has flaws. The software used to create Bitcoin means that only the user has access to the password, with an iron key system giving them 10 attempts to get it right. Well, people have bad memories, and then you got also dubious people that may lock the wallet maliciously as well. Thomas has only 2 password attempts remaining before the system will shut off his digital wallet forever and encrypt the Bitcoin files. Thomas watched as the value of the cryptocurrency doubled in the last month. There's currently an estimated $140 billion in Bitcoin trapped in similar digital wallets, where the users have forgotten their passwords or left it stranded, and this is very true. 20% of Bitcoins have been lost already. A large percentage, and as more time passes, a bigger percentage is going to get lost or forgotten about or locked out, and at a certain percent, I don't think it's viable in this. I don't think the currency is viable at its current state, and it's going to become even more unviable as more coins get lost, because it's going to take there won't be enough coinage for it to be a viable global currency, basically. So a computer programmer is locked out of the digital wallet containing an estimated $220 million worth of Bitcoin, with only 2 chances left to figure out his password before its contents are encrypted and placed out of reach forever. Well, hopefully he gets it right on the first guess or the second guess, and then he gets his money, hopefully. Fingers crossed. German-born Stephen Thomas, who now lives in San Francisco, told the New York Times that he was gifted 7,002 bitcoins by an early cryptocurrency fanatic in 2011 after creating a what is a Bitcoin explainer video. Yet the same year he lost his password, known as a digital key, to the online wallet, and despite trying all the regular combinations, he has remained locked out of the price of the cryptocurrency has soared in the past month. So he wants out. He doesn't believe in the system. It's not like he was wanting to buy things and exchange the items and goods for the currency of the coinage. He wants dollars, not coins. So he wants the fiat currency. He does not want the Bitcoin coins, so to speak. Unless he wants to buy something with, unless someone's willing to take the coins in exchange for the item, but then they'd probably want to exchange it. They'll take the coin, but then they would exchange it to dollars. They don't really want the coin. I would just lie out in bed and think about it, Thomas told the Times. Then I would go to the computer with some new strategy, and it wouldn't work, and I would be desperate again. While Thomas has kept hold of Bitcoin in other wallets that have already made him rich, well, so we shouldn't feel so sorry for him. He still joins the many cryptocurrency holders who have lost the chance at adding to their wealth, or because they cannot remember their passwords. And this is going to be a major issue if it's going to become more mainstream. If this is what's going to happen, if people forget their passwords and they're going to get locked out, people ain't going to accept it. While Thomas has kept hold, sorry I read that, they have been forced to watch as on other people cash in while other fund lies behind the Iron Key, a system which gives users only 10 password attempts before it automatically encrypts everything inside. According to New York Times, 18.5 billion Bitcoin, which could currently be worth 140 billion, 18.5 million Bitcoin have been lost, are currently being held in the lost or stranded wallets, and I am one of them. I've got fractional Bitcoins I've actually lost. Because at one time I was mining them, but I ain't going to be losing any sleep over it. As the value of Bitcoin has risen dramatically in the past month, wallet recovery services, which tries to help users recover their lost digital keys, is now receiving 3 times the number of daily requests. Basically, they all want to dump it and get out of it now. They want out or massively trim their position. It says that now have up to 70 people a day placing requests for aid in recovering their Bitcoin riches. Though over the years I would say I have spent hundreds of hours trying to get back into these wallets, Bradley has told the Times. The entrepreneur says that he has found a few desktop computers that contain thousands of Bitcoin he created on Mind almost a decade ago. Unable to remember his password, he has since placed the hard drives that contain the Bitcoin in a vacuum sealed bags that he keeps out of his sight. I don't want to be reminded every day what I have now is a fraction of what I could have that I lost, he said. So this is another problem with Bitcoin. If something happens to your hard drive, you lose them as well, or a corruption of the hard drive where your mind slips a little bit and you can't remember the password and then you get locked out. People aren't going to accept putting their whole net worth into that kind of system. Or if there's malice people trying to harm you and they intentionally corrupt the hard drive, and you can intentionally intentionally maliciously encrypt it so it can't be unencrypted. So that is another problem that is a problem as well. Thomas has also placed his Iron Key in a secure facility to keep it out of mind. I got to a point where I said to myself, let it be in the past just for your own mental health, he said. Much of the first major appeal in Bitcoin lay in the fact that it was different from traditional bank accounts and online wallets, and would allow anyone in the world to open a digital bank account and store money. It's not money. It's too volatile. It's just very too volatile. These users could create the wallet without having to register with a financial institution or go through any sort of identity check. And there's reasons why you have to go through an identity check, so they can check to see credibility of who you are. The cryptocurrency is created using the software that develops an address and private key known to the user. Even when the software is allowing transactions, it does not itself view the password. It made Bitcoin popular among criminals in countries such as China and understandably Venezuela, which has gone through a hyperinflation where the governments have raided the bank's accounts and established by more traditional means. And that's understandable about Venezuela and China, but obviously naughty people have also taken advantage of this system. Let me just close that. Guess it also means that there is no company available that can help users recover and reset passwords. Even sophisticated investors have been completely incapable of doing any kind of management of private keys. Diego Malika, the co-founder of Okoridge, which helps companies handle cryptocurrency securities, told the Times of the large number of users who have lost passwords. The situation has meant that Thomas has since sourced from the idea of Bitcoin despite earning money from the wallets he still has access to. The whole idea of being your own bank, let me put it this way. Do you make your own shoes, he said? No. Well, basically that means people have to take responsibility, fully take full responsibility, and then they can't to the government. So yes, I think people should really stay well clear of Bitcoin, because it's very dangerous if you accidentally forget your passwords or something happens to it, or malice. It's really not worth the risk of putting a large percentage or a small percentage of your worth into a very highly speculative, volatile asset class. The reason, and it does have some use, I'm not going to deny that, it does have some use if you're fleeing like a tyrannical government, then it does have some use. Outside of that, I don't like it. The reason we have banks is that we don't want to deal with all those things that the banks do. Since last year, Bitcoin has been gaining traction more mainstream investors who are increasingly convinced that it will be a long-lasting asset, and I don't think so. And I mean, I don't think so, not that the article says that, and not a speculative bubble as some analysts and investors fear, which is what I think it is. Now, inflows into Bitcoin investment products total 24.3 million in the first few weeks of the year. Ethereum, the second largest crypto in terms of the market capitalization, account for 5.3 million according to the latest data. The data showed that investors pumped $15.6 billion into Bitcoin products and funds in 2020, while Ethereum inflows reached nearly $2.5 billion. Yet Bitcoin plunged more than 19% on Monday, putting it on track for its biggest one-day drop since March, as it surged to a record 42 grand last week. So I think basically people cut the gains. Basically, I think, oh, I've had enough gains now. I'm cashing in, and now I want the fiat currency of the national currency. So it's not like I truly believed in the Bitcoin system, is it? Because if you truly believed in the Bitcoin system, you wouldn't care what the dollar amount was, would you? More than 200 billion was wiped off of the value of the global current cryptocurrency market at its highest week. The total digital coin market was worth an estimated 1.07 trillion. On Tuesday morning, Bitcoin fell another 1.78% to 34,824.44 cents. Despite this fall, the cryptocurrency still remains 50% higher than it was just a month ago. Bitcoin is still up on the year, and the current 22% crash won't intimidate any of the new institutional money just that hopped onto the crypto bandwagon, said Edward Mayer, senior market analyst at Odia in New York. Experts have claimed that the sudden drop should be welcomed as a healthy correction after the 12-year-old cryptocurrency has soared to unsustainable record high prices. I don't know how useful the crypto. I've actually never seen it. Whenever I've been out and about, I actually have never seen in person shops saying that they take crypto as a form of payment. Anywhere I've been in London or the area that I'm in, nowhere. So last week, strategists at the Bank of America already warned that the rapidly rising price of Bitcoin may be the mother of all bubbles, like the tulip mania bubble, comparing it to the tech boom in the 1990s, and it could be. I do think Bitcoin will always have some kind of price, as it does have use, as I said, for fleeing very bad governments and fleeing them countries and you want to take your assets with you. But apart from that, I don't think it has any other value, or I wouldn't want to use it for any other purpose. I don't believe it as in the system as a currency. There's not enough of it. 7 billion people on this planet and 20 million Bitcoin in total. As we said, 20% have been lost already. Let's call it 4, so that leaves 16 million Bitcoins, between 7 billion. I know wealth isn't distributed evenly, but it would be even more unevenly distributed if that was the case. Naeem Alsam, chief market analyst at Aviatrade, said the drop was therefore considered a welcomed healthy correction that was due a long time ago, as the CNN reporter. James Putra, vice president of the product strategy for TransStation Crypto, added that it's scary when the price of Bitcoin just goes straight up. This pullback was needed. Bitcoin's first surpassed the $20,000 level in mid-December and soared above $30,000 earlier this month. A huge rebound from the low of just about $4,000 as the COVID-19 outbreak sent global financial assets plummeting last spring. In total, it jumped more than 900% from a recent low of $3,850 in March. The massive spending on COVID-related stimulus packages has risen fears about rising inflation and US dollar debasement. Well, if you're going to be into that, it's better to get the physical assets such as precious metals, maybe some other asset classes, other ones as well, like land, productive land that is, and investors flocking to Bitcoin as a safe haven. I don't see Bitcoin as a safe haven. It's too volatile to be called a safe haven, really, for my liking. Prior to the crash, on January the 5th, investment bank JP Morgan said Bitcoin has emerged as a rival to gold and could trade as high as $146,000 if it becomes established as a safe haven asset. Well, that means it's going to have to lose its volatility, and that's going to put a lot of people off, I think. Well, a lot of people, the newer people, have made loads of gains, because then they won't make as much money. Many experts remain optimistic about the future of the digital currency that was invented in 2009 by an anonymous person known as pseudonym Sushi Nakatomi. Let's see what the best rated comments are. Remember to keep your password by posting it by your computer. Very true. Yeah, see, he should have actually written it down somewhere and put it in maybe like a safety deposit box or somewhere else that is very secure, or maybe even written it in some kind of code and then have somewhere else where they decipher the code. Maybe a good idea. And this person's got it right here. Great commenter. Really? They created a software not to give people the chance to access their accounts if they don't remember their password. People forget their passwords all the time. Yeah, so basically, people saying they would feel bad if they lost it, and there's someone's like, they're a bit stupid for not writing it down. But the moral of this story is, this is another problem that I have mentioned before about the Bitcoin is you can lose access to your account. And let's say if you put large sums of money, you build this position up to millions of dollars. Not like a $14,000 punt. I know $14,000 is not a punt, but let's say if you actually literally put $222 million in, actually put the $220 million in, and then you lost it because you couldn't remember the password, you would not be a happy bunny. And that's just too much risk for me personally. If you lose a wallet, or it gets stolen, or the passwords get stolen, personally it's not for me. But anyway, if you like this video, please feel free to subscribe to this channel so you and click the bell notification button so you get notified when I next release a video. Smashing that like button helps to get my channel out there more, letting the algorithm know that you're liking my content, and if you comment, I'll get back to you as soon as humanly possible. Thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you all soon.